Speaking about the next episode of When the Boat Comes In, God and Love and Wellesley Street, you may have noticed my hat is different from the hat I normally wear. I've actually misplaced it, but this is my substitute hat because this is a very similar hat to when Jack Ford visits the Duke of Bedlington along with Lady Caroline. Yeah, it's very similar, isn't it? So yes, the next episode, God and Love and Wellesley Street. This is where Billy puts his socialist ideals into practice. And to be honest, he does a very good thing, doesn't he? Helping all these people out for nout. But at the same time, he hasn't got any self-respect because he doesn't get paid, as Tom Seaton says. And also, he owes debts to the family. That's the big thing. It's all very well being noble, doing the right thing, helping people for nothing, but I do actually believe what Bella says is 100% true. Charity starts at home. He's got to pay back his debts, hasn't he? Eventually, thanks to his sister, of course, Jessie, she sorts it out for him so he can work at the Fitters Union as a doctor and also for Dr. Stoker.
We're talking money now, boy. Love will have to wait. It usually does.
200 a year, you say?
Payable quarterly.
How much work for that?
It depends on the accidents. Could be night for a month and you'll be at it round the clock. Just don't know.
Round the clock?
You're not afraid of a bit of work, are you?
Well, it's not that. It's just I've got a job.
Who with? No, Jessie never said.
I've just started with Dr. Stoker.
Stoker? Why, the Good Samaritan.
Is that what they call him?
Either that or bloody fool. You'll not get fucking when he pays you.
He needs me, Jack. Needs all the help he can get.
How much are you getting?
You're a cod for me dinner. Look, can I think it over?
Is that the polite way to say no?
Well, it's just I'm needed, you see.
No, I don't see. Thank God. You sure you won't change your mind?
No, thanks.
And have a sandwich.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting with Dr. Stoker. I like the scene where he says to Billy, "What are you, a saint or an idiot?" And Billy's like, "I want to be a saint." And Dr. Stoker's like, "It takes a bit of working at to become a saint. To begin with, people will call you an idiot," which is true, working for nothing.
You don't want me, then?
Of course I want you. But you've just qualified. You can do a bit better than this. Go on.
I'm staying.
You want to be an idiot, then?
Why not a saint?
Oh, takes time to be a saint. Got to work at it.
Of course, you feel sorry for the Seatons, don't you, that Billy has decided to go down this path of not being paid for what he does. I mean, it's noble in one respect, but in another respect, it's terrible, isn't it, not getting paid? All those years of Bill and Tom and Bella all suffering to put him through university, and now he's not getting paid because of his politics, really. But as I say, later on he does get the best of both worlds. He gets paid at the Fitters Union by Jack Ford, thanks to Jessie. And yeah, in the end, it's all right. But to begin with, in this episode, you can see their frustration. It would be awful, wouldn't it, if this happened? And I think it's even worse when he actually sends the note to them saying, "At this rate, it will take so long for me to pay you back." And he only sends a £1 note. You know, it's just, it's kind of rubbing salt in the wounds, really. Although Billy does say, "I'm putting into practice the socialist beliefs of my father." So yeah, I can see it from that point of view as well, but yeah, as Jessie says, if he didn't get a paying job as well, those people would bring him down. He'd be able to bring them up if he's being paid as well, which he does later on.
Well, it was a struggle putting him through college. My husband was a pitman, you see, till he had his accident, and money was hard to come by, but we managed somehow.
It does you great credit, Mrs. Seaton.
Oh, I don't want credit. Not for myself. I just want our Billy to get on.
I think he has begun very well.
Do you? I don't. He'll end up with nothing.
Jesus had nothing. Sell all thou hast and give it to the poor. Dr. Stoker has done that, and so have I. Why not your son?
He's given to the poor what isn't his to give.
Your need for him, you mean?
I mean his debts. To his father, to his brother.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors is a fairly accurate translation. Can you not forgive your sons?
Look, all I want for him is to have a job that pays. He can have this one as well.
So he told me, Unfortunately, God needs him here full time.
Our Billy doesn't believe in God.
God still needs him.
Ah, you're a hard one, aren't you? To take a son from his mother.
Jesus also said, "Who is my mother?"
Aye. And he said, "Woman, behold thy son," and all. He was hanging on the cross when he said that. Do you have any children, Vicar?
A daughter.
And do you love her?
Yes.
Then what would you do if she said to you, "Who is my father"?
If she said it in the way that our Lord meant it, I should say thank God.
Aye, I believe you would and all. So you'll do nothing to help our Billy?
Believe me, Mrs. Seaton, I am helping him.
Hard all through?
Quite a career.
I've talked me head off. Like I was drunk or something.
I'm good at making people talk.
Aye. Too good.
I promise I won't tell on a bright. Miner, soldier, burglar, sheep stealer. Quite a career.
You forgot jailbird.
And now, like Candide, you cultivate your garden.
I cultivate other people's. That reminds me, I've got a job on for you.
Please, don't let us go yet. I like talking to you. I like it very much.
I do think she would have ate him alive, you know, that expression. He was completely smitten over her, wasn't he? So much so that I think, yeah, it only could have ended badly. But I love him sticking up for his Mara, for his mate, for his friend, Tom Seaton. And it shows you what Jack was like as a man. He was, with people he loved, he would treat the other people who were against them really harsh, but that was what was needed. And it was clear she was kind of manipulative, wasn't she? And she was a collector of people. And it's quite funny because her father, who works for Dr. Stoker, well, I say works, he doesn't get paid, does he? Maybe he gets paid in haddock. He collects the sick. That's what Jack says, but Miss Courtney likes them young and strong. And yeah, she's a very evil character, actually, if you think of the series. And it's quite rare that it's a woman. But with her, yeah, she's very manipulative and just a nasty piece of work, really, I thought.
I'd like some whiskey, please.
Make that two.
Yes, sir.
About Joe Hodgson.
He sends you his apologies. And this.
And what on earth is that?
A pawn ticket, Miss Courtney, from a pawn shop in the Mile End Road.
Silver cigarette box. It was a gift from my father. He wanted it in Gymkhana in India years ago. It's very dear to me.
You're fond of your father?
It's hardly your business. I love him very much.
You're fond of Tom Seaton and all?
I beg your pardon.
You're driving him daft, but then you know that.
My dear man.
A lady, he said. Like something out of a dream. Are you going to put that in your notebook and all? That's all right.
Thank you, sir.
You could always have me thrown out, you know.
I may have to. But not yet. You interest me. Please. Go on.
Joe Hodgson was right. Pretty and charming and scared and out. You're a collector, Miss Courtney.
You're being enigmatic. Such fun.
A collector of chaps who've gotten out.
I think you're confusing me with my father.
No, your father collects the sick, the lame. You like them healthy, Miss Courtney. Big and strong and, what would your word be now? Vulnerable. With a few stories to put in that notebook of yours. And maybe next year they'll bob up in a novel you've written.
You're very perceptive. But what on earth do you want?
Put Tom in your novel by all means. You'll never read it anyway. But lay off him, Miss Courtney. You don't belong here. Go home.
I have an appointment with Mr. Seaton tomorrow.
Break it.
Why should I?
Because if you don't, I'll tell your father what Joe Hodgson told me.
About what, Mr. Ford?
About you, Miss Courtney.
He wouldn't believe you.
Oh, I think he would. I'm a very persuasive sort of fella.
You are indeed. Tom really does have an appointment with me tomorrow.
I know. To tell you where Joe Hudson is, he asked me to find out.
What will you tell him? Tom might be rather persistent.
Oh, I said Joe's gone deep sea. Now, that means a long voyage, Miss Courtney. If I tell him that, there'll be no trouble.
Why are you doing this?
Because I'm Tom's marrow, Miss Courtney. That means his friend. And I'm not going to stand by and watch while you chew him up and spit out the pips.
Such devotion. It's quite touching. All right. I shall leave your precious Mara unsullied.
Have you paid him?
He hardly regards himself as a gigolo.
I thought he was doing the job for you.
No. But I'll see that he's paid.
Well, that's it then. Good night, Miss Courtney.
I say. Wouldn't you like to be in my notebook?
Not tonight, Miss Courtney. Get yourself one with more pages and we'll see.
When the boat comes in